I wanted to thank the SPF team for giving me this opportunity, and I want to thank all of you for being here on a Sunday to listen to this SPF Talks about potato pants. Walking around with HSP is like walking with your pants full of potatoes. My answer to my daughter and her school friend when asked why I had to keep stopping while out on a summer hike. They thought that was hilarious. And that's where potato pants got started. That was the perfect line because it turned into the potato pants at the potato pants run at our school in Klosterneuburg. The clip you're about to see comes from the first ever potato pants run, which only happened because our school community came together. Many hands made this happen, all starting from an innocent line. As you all know, it's very difficult to raise awareness of rare diseases, especially given that there are over 10,000 of them. But we need to raise awareness to get more funding, and we need more funding to do more research, and we need more research to find cures. With that in mind, there are 3 objectives for this SPF Talks, and Norma's going to put them on the screen. So 1, to raise awareness for HSP and PLS, to inform and provide knowledge about hosting a potato pants event. 2, inspire you with ideas and message to host a fundraiser using potato pants. 3, encourage thought and consideration to implement a potato pants initiative in 2024. We really want to get you engaged and hear your thoughts and ideas. So first I will talk, and then we'll get you involved. Let me give you an idea of what Potato Pants has been doing since 2014. Potato Pants has been marinating for 10 years, but it has been difficult to get any sort of momentum. Some of you might even recall that in 2016, I made a presentation at the I just said 2016. I made a presentation at the annual conference, but not much came of that. Since that time, though, Potato Pants initiatives have been implemented in one form or another all across Europe. Before I talk about the initiatives, though, I need to share a secret. Here's a potato. It is a baggie filled with sand and sealed with brown packing tape to resemble a potato. I realized that using actual potatoes was not the best idea. They become smelly. It's a waste of food, and they really cannot be reused. I mean, you can use potatoes, but just know that there are more user-friendly alternatives, like perhaps even ankle weights. So first up, I need to shout out my students. In 2016, after the annual conference, I thought, this potato pants idea is way too good. We need to bring it to life again. I will pitch an idea to my students. I wanted to make a film, although I didn't have a script or a camera or any real way of filming this. The only thing I knew was that this needed to be done. My students stepped up to the plate in a huge way. They wrote, shot, and edited a film. They created a 3-story banner, which you actually see on the screen. Do you see the students? The students at the top. That is my school, and actually I said 3 stories, but I think that is 4 stories. They painted this this banner, and then they unfurled it out of the window. And that actually was part of the movie. If you want to see the movie, you can go to our YouTube channel, and you can the YouTube channel is called HSP Potato Pants, and the movie is called Channeling Casey Neistat. They also set up a massive stand at an expo called the Vienna Sports World, which is a 2-day event preceding the Vienna City Marathon. They started by calling all our local businesses to donate supplies. A concert-worthy lighting rig, which you can actually see. Yeah, you can actually see on the screen that there was a light, like a huge lighting rig. I can't remember like the dimensions of it. So the local businesses to donate supplies. So a concert-worthy lighting rig, t-shirts, t-shirt transfers, pants, paint, printing supplies, nylon straps, scraps of material, a raised planter box, and a van to transport everything. Here now is a 58-second clip of that expo where my students came in contact with over 40,000 people to inform them about potato pants. So as I said, I'm going to actually show you other images of potato pants initiatives that happened throughout Europe. So and the following images and videos were taken directly from the Potato Pants website, which was created entirely by my students. So the first one, so this is in England. Ian Bennett, who's chair of the membership committee of the UK support group for HSP, has been running a family-friendly Potato Pants Festival for the past 7 years. He invites 12 bands to play on either of 2 stages. Here you can see the band Route 66. So this is in Vienna, Austria, at the Sir Karl Popper School. Angela Ransdorf, one of the teachers of the school, she's holding on to these yellow slalom poles, and she's stepping onto a bench. She's set up an obstacle course at their school festival at the end of the year, and I'm pretty sure there were 70 participants involved in that. So the next one. This is in Edlitz, Austria. Organized by the family Lackinger, who co-founded the Austrian HSP support group Stop HSP. Their son has SPG 11. In the first image, you see a woman who has just kicked a soccer ball. Go to the second one. In the second one, you see participants from behind. Their pants are filled with potatoes. And if you can see, actually, there are two people on the screen. They're wearing pants that were made for children. I'm pretty sure you can tell who I'm talking about. And the last one, 4 more participants. Yeah. And side note, they raised over 14,000 euros at that event. And what that is that's 15,000 US dollars. Just to give you an idea. This is in Rome, Italy, at a judo competition organized by Giorgia Tartaglia. She's the vice president of the Italian HSP support group in Italy. The mats were already set up for the judo competition, but then they had the potato pants races after. Let's see, it was taken in Scotland. A mom whose son has HSP organized this obstacle course with the teachers of the school. The kids used rubber pants with the bottoms duct taped.
Ready, set, go!
was stiff to move your legs up and down because of the potatoes. It was holding it down.
How was that?
Heavy. Harder than I expected.
And why was it hard?
Because like the bottom of your legs is really heavy, but then like your arms and stuff are much lighter, and it feels really weird.
How was it?
Tiring and awesome at
Okay.
the same time.
It was an eye-opener, and it's so humbling.
So I think that's it. Yes. So far, the Potato Pants initiatives that I've showed you, has raised over 50,000 euros, which is 54,000 US dollars. So a lot of money, but just a drop in the bucket of what is actually needed. Over time, I've come to learn that Potato Pants is both unique and distinctive. It stands out. When people first hear the term, they're like, what's that? It's much easier to remember than the names of the different medical conditions. As an example, I had a conversation with my student last year who, even after hearing me say the name hereditary spastic pelagius so many times, he legit thought I had potato pants. What that teaches me is that potato pants really does make HSP or PLS or any other close cousin conditions accessible. It is our ice bucket challenge, but with a major advantage. It completely relates to our experience, to our diseases. So whether in a school, a sports center, or a park, people running around in goofy overalls filled with sandbags, potatoes, has something going for it. Good story, good pictures, high energy, fun activity, serious message. It has all the elements the media are looking for in a story. But only you know what you can make work and what you have the time, energy, and resources to take on. We will support you as best as we can with the tools and resources for Potato Pants Initiative. So let's tap your thoughts and ideas. But before I hand this over to Norma, let me say this. Actually, let your mind go back to the video we showed you, the first ever Potato Pants run. There were about 150 people there. There was a lot going on. As you might have thought, and you might have thought, there's no way I can do that. Too much. What was my involvement? I had the idea, but my co-creator is the one that did excuse me, who is the one who did the heavy lifting. And as I said, it would not have happened if the school community had not come together. And then I got to stand at the racetrack and marvel at the amount of people there and think, wow, they're doing this all for Potato Pants. And that was super cool. So, and next week we'll have a talent show at our school. All proceeds will go to Potato Pants, but there is not one potato and not one pair of pants involved. They'll only show the video that you have all seen. But we will collect the money, which is super cool. So once again, I want to thank the SPF team, and I want to thank you all for coming here. Norma, all yours.
Lori, it is absolutely amazing what you guys have gone through and what you've done. I mean, yeah, let's all give her a big
Thanks,
clap of
Peg.
hands. I mean, that is just fantastic. All the things that you've done all across all of those, locations, and all those kids and families that got involved. And I think that's wonderful that you guys have done that. Everybody, that is so wonderful. I really do appreciate, Lori, all the effort and time that you and your co-founder and your students and your locations, having that banner up on that big building, that is impressive. That is absolutely amazing that you had that team of people helping you to make it, and then to be able to launch it out the window. I mean, that really got a lot of attention. And so I just have to say kudos to all of you guys in putting all of that together. Now, I know we had talked about opening up to allow folks to have the chance to ask some questions. But before we get to the questions, I'm going to go back over here just one quick moment, and I'm going to share with you guys the screen
Objectives, right? Oh, you had the, yeah, okay.
as far as
Yeah.
the objectives, and we want you to think about these objectives as we come in and we start talking about questions. So again, Lori, do you want to cover those real quickly? Just say those again real quickly for some that might not be able to see it.
Sure, I'll say them again. So one, to raise awareness for HSP and PLS, to inform, provide knowledge about hosting a Potato Pants event. Two, to inspire you with the idea and message to host a fundraiser using Potato Pants. And three, to encourage thought and consideration to implement a Potato Pants initiative in 2024. So there were, yeah, those three objectives.
Yeah, so the thought is, you know, basically our population might need to consider about how do we host that. So we've got some things that we want to talk to you about, but I'm so encouraged that we have a couple of folks already on the screen that are wanting to ask some questions. So I'm going to call you out. Is it Jacqueline? You're up on deck, and Jeff, you're next. So go ahead, Jacqueline. You got a question or a comment?
Yeah, this is really inspiring. I had one question because I had watched your video, I think in an email ahead of this talk, and it was and I have HSP, by the way. I'm in the US, in Virginia, and I've got a couple questions, but you know, I look at these videos and everyone's having a great time. They're laughing and having fun. I think that's awesome. It's so funny because it's so different for us who struggle with it. But I was wondering if a part of the event that you ran, or your first one, or their past, do you show like that video, like of your kind of progression with the disease, like how you started it? Like, should it just be joy and like, I guess that's my question, the balance between the powerful video I saw of you and your progression versus, you know, the fun, creative idea of the potato pants and having everyone experience it in their own way. So I was wondering if you could speak to that.
Yeah, I think I could. So what you saw, like the video that we showed you that was done in 2014, it was before even, and actually the video that you saw in an email, I did that I just did that in November. So no, they haven't actually seen, I mean, they've seen the progression in real time because those were my students. They've seen me over time. I've been at the school I've been at the school for 11 years, so they have actually seen it happen, if that answers your question.
Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, real time. I mean, there's nothing better than seeing, you know,
Yeah. Mhm,
how difficult it has been. They've seen you progress. I assume you've progressed.
Yes.
You know, as this is a progressive disease, unfortunately, but some go faster and some go slower. So yeah, that's just pretty remarkable. Jacqueline,
Jacqueline, did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. So for someone like me, I'll be 35 this year. I'm still able to walk around, but like I feel it getting worse. I fell down the flight of stairs for the first time this year, which is like really scary. And so anyways, I know I'm gonna have to start talking about it more soon, being more open about it, because I've been pretty, you know, since it's progressive, you know, people know you, you know, and then things start to get worse. But I guess, do you have advice for someone who might want to hold something like this where they're not yet chair ridden, or, you know what I mean? People haven't seen the progression like you have. Because to me, that's really, it's amazing you have this community around you and they've seen it. So they can relate to it all because they know you. But do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like I'm trying to help people understand better. Granted that I'm not in a chair yet, right? And I'm not like using a walker yet, but
and I think, Jacqueline, that there may be some other questions that might kind of help answer that as
okay.
well.
Yeah.
So let's go on and then come back if that doesn't actually get answered. Okay, let's do that. Jeff, you're on deck, and Mary, you're next. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, first off, I really like the video, and I like the idea that it's gone beyond just the race and the obstacle course and the stepping up where you showed that. I thought it was really good. I had some ideas like a trampoline or a jumpy house so that people understand that it's hard to get up off the ground once you're down there, or even, roll through bed sometimes, the things that we all take for granted. And then, Laura, you had also mentioned that, you had the idea, but someone else took over that kind of the heavy lifting. And for everybody that's out there thinking the same thing that you already mentioned, that, wow, how am I going to do this? I immediately started thinking of my son, who's a junior in high school, and he has to do a certain number of volunteer hours to graduate. And I thought, well, this would be a great way to enlist him and some of his friends who are looking for ideas. And they could crank out a lot of volunteer hours and do something very, very good.
That's super cool. And so I talk about my students a lot, and the reason why I mean, it's not, I don't pay my students. They do it because that we're in an IB program, and they have to get a certain amount of hours as well. Kind of the same concept of what you were saying. Like, they have to get a certain amount of I don't know exactly what it's called, but certain amount of volunteer hours. And so that is why they do it. But also, like, 18-year-olds, 17 and 18-year-olds bring a lot of energy, and really cool energy. So that's good.
Right. Yeah. So I think a lot of places have the volunteer requirement now. My son is in the IB program as well. And so he has probably a higher requirement. But I know that the high schools around here at least require everybody to have a certain number of volunteer hours.
Okay.
That's fantastic, Jeff. Thank you so very much for those comments. That's wonderful. Mary Schultz, you've got a comment or a question? Go ahead.
Quick question. Do people with HSP or PLS actually attend Potato Pants festivals, and what role do they play?
I mean, for the one in 2014, I was the only one. And for the one that is in usually it's just for example, the Potato Pants Festival, I think the only person who has HSP is Ian. He's the one in the mobility scooter. So to answer your question, right now there's usually just one or two people who attend the event. But yeah, that is a good question. Because what were you thinking, that it would be good to have more people?
No, I'm the state ambassador for Missouri, and I have a lot of challenges getting Missouri SPFers engaged. And I'm wondering if I required or called for attendance at a Potato Pants festival, I probably wouldn't get very many HSPers.
Well, but it's like anything else. If we put together a 5K, or if we put together, a golfing tournament, the likelihood of having, other people in your community come together that have HSP, it's just going to be a matter of, you got to do it and then they will come. And, you got to create it as interesting as possible. And, it's just one of those things that you got to own. You got to own.
That's what I'm thinking also. Like, instead of thinking about what could possibly go wrong, to just do it first, and then they might come. Yeah, that's sort of what
I actually think it's an attraction that here's a way to generate money for medical research on HSP or PLS, not require HSP or PLS patients to be there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. The next person we have online, I don't really actually see a name.
It's Mike, isn't it, Mike?
Oh, it's Mike,
Hi.
yeah, from HSP UK.
Hi, Mike. Go ahead. You got a question or a comment?
Hi. Yeah, I'm very interested in what you've got to say about raising awareness. In Europe, we're all small countries. We're all individual countries. We have lots of local news, local national news. I don't think you have the same sort of thing in America. And as I say, I live in the UK. I know about the HSP Ian Bennett, but I only learned tonight about the HSP Mutual School in Scotland, which is part of the UK. And I live in the north of England, and I'm responsible for the people in Scotland as well. So I've missed something there.
Mike, I didn't hear what you said. Did you say that this was the first time hearing about the Potato Pants Festival?
No, I've heard about the Potato Pants Festival, but I've heard about the one in South England run by Ian. but I've not heard about the one at Moot Hill School in Scotland until tonight. Even
Okay,
though
okay.
I live in the North of England and I'm responsible for the people in Scotland, and we've got to the stage of raising it to Parliament without finding out about this person at all. So I just think it's quite easy to raise a good news story to your local paper and your local press. You might hit the local broadcasting, but I don't think you have those in America. And so I think that's a big gap in, you can raise awareness, you can have awareness and have the local news. Whether it hits the national news, in England is a bit of a gamble. Whether it hits the national news in America would be a real gamble.
You know, Mike, that's one of the things that we struggle with all the time is how to raise awareness. And this is just another one of those opportunities that we've got to figure out how to market, how to make our disease actually a business so that we can get the attention of all of the news markets, all of the media, anything that's out there. And, you know, one of the things that has just been so profound is the forming of all of the social media platforms. You know, even just the Zoom platform so that we can visit and talk. So one of the things that we're constantly encouraging people to do is to become a member of the foundation, the Spastic Paraplegia Foundation, so that we can be an outsource, a resource, you know, that we can, you know, be an outreach so that we can get you the information that we see that's happening. So that, you know, Lori can contact us and let us know that this event's going on. We can easily put that on our website and we can put that into our events category. So then all you got to do is just periodically go check our events page and you're going to see these events happening right there in your hometown, right there in your community. But it's, you know, it's only as good as the information that you send to us to tell us that these events are happening in your community. And we want to help you by, you know, announcing that on all the media platforms that we share. And we have one, you know, we have all of them. So
that'd be useful. That'd be great help to everybody, I think.
Yeah, just keep the
some
circle,
states are very
right?
populous and some states are very unpopulous, very rural.
Well, and like in America, you know, we do a lot of 5Ks, you know, and we're not actually asking people that have HSP or PLS to actually be the runner in the 5K, but there's a whole circuit of people that want to go to those kinds of races and they want to be, you know, traveling and they, you know, they work years at taking care of trying to win that 5K. You know, those are the people that we want to get involved in the things that we're working on if we call it a 5K. There's also golfing tournaments, you know, there's also just hot dog stands, you know, whatever those events are that you're getting a population together, we want to know about those and we can put those on our events page so that we can help share that word. So it's a very good comment, Mike. Thank you so much for bringing that to our attention.
Cheers.
Yeah, so now I see Jackie's got her hand raised. Go ahead, Miss Jackie.
It's not really a question, more of an idea. I love, I think with Jeff's idea about common things that we have to do. And then to show progression, what if you said, okay, there's 5 years on, so you just pop in five or six more potatoes. So, and have them do the same thing and realize that it's harder.
Yeah, that's a very good thought. Very good thought. You could start off with you know, the first, if you want to make it a challenge, you're doing a race, then the first one is just a few potatoes. And then the next time you come back around, you know, you're weighting it down with another, you know, I don't even, how many pounds does it start with, Lori?
I don't know. There wasn't a minimum. I mean,
okay.
There was not a minimum. We put 22 pounds, 10 kilos, 22 pounds. Yeah. In the pans, but yeah.
You know, you could set it up to where if you know, you had so many people that wanted to participate, you know, they could actually have, like I said, the first round is very light. Then the winner of that, you know, runs against the next level. And then you can keep them competing until, you know, they actually understand how much harder and heavier that it actually gets.
Just see, they get an idea of what, you know, rolling around on the cot with 10 pounds of potatoes on each leg is not easy.
And it's just kind of like that spoon theory, right? You know, you only have so many spoons that you can use and you could use up your spoons very quickly the more weight that's been added to it. That's what happens to us throughout the day. You know, you start off in the morning a little bit more energetic and ready to go, but by the afternoon, you're just completely whooped. And, you know, it is what it is. And we just got to figure out how to work around that ourselves. But to bring it to the attention of our families and our friends, I think somebody said when we were talking this week, you know, that you know, when you say, hey mom, I'm just kind of feeling potato panty today, you know, my potato pants are just like, you know, beating me up.
They're
Mom
weighing me
kind of
down.
understands what you're dealing with, you know, so that is a way to kind of get that out. So these are ideas. These are things that we want to share with you so that you might have some fun at it. We know our schools in America have like field days and sports days at the end of their years in class in the summer as they're getting ready to go out for summer. And, you know, it could be a challenge that you could put together, or you can, you know, get your family and friends together for some kind of a, you know, an activity. So that would be fun to do that. So I wanted to share with you, and if you guys have got any more questions, you know, please feel free to, you know, raise your hands. I see Craig over here waving at me. Go ahead, sir.
I didn't see where you clicked to do the hand thing, so I'm doing it.
I can see it. Go ahead.
Okay, I have no comments or questions. I just want to tell you guys that I've known Lori for a very long time, and to see this blossom the way it has and what she has done, it's a remarkable thing. She's terrific. I love her. She's just like a wonderful human being. So
Thanks, Craig.
I agree.
That is so wonderful. We feel the same way.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So thank you so much for shouting that out. You know, it's one of those things, you guys, that had it been, you know, HSP or PLS that had come up with the ice bucket challenge, don't you think, when you think of the ice bucket challenge, I'm hoping most of you, you know, recognize that, what that means and what that did. You know, it was a representation for the ALS Foundation, right? And I know the first year they did the ice bucket challenge, you know, everybody across the world was doing it, you know, all the stars and the ball players and, you know, sports people, and they raised like $200 million that first year. If we had done the ice bucket challenge, what amazing research that we would be further along than what we are. So, you know, if we could come up with another idea that is something that could be comparable to what the ice bucket challenge is, maybe it's the potato pants race, you know?
It is the potato pants race.
Yeah.
We
So,
we need a celebrity for this thing.
well, all of us are celebrities. That's what it comes down to. All of
Yeah,
us.
but you know,
are-
if you have Taylor Swift doing a potato pants challenge,
Yeah, that would be amazing, right?
right?
So, you know,
I have a few here that I can, in LA, that I can probably see if I can do something.
very good. Let us know what we can do to help. Now I have Gerald over here with his hand up and some other folks too. Go ahead, Gerald.
Yeah, hello everybody. Greetings from Austria. I'm here from Tyrol, which is the other end of Austria in the middle of the Alps. But I'm working together with Lori on multiple levels. So one level is that she already mentioned Stop HSP, which is our Austrian foundation where we are connected. And the other thing where we are connected and both are very active is the European Federation of HSP Associations. And I wanted to pick up the comment from the guy from the north of UK. Getting connected, getting in touch, you know, also we on the Euro SPG homepage, we are very happy, you know, if you send us a brief email, you know, we have this activity, we put it there, you know. I think it's amazing that today we are connected here from entire Europe. I see people from the Netherlands here. I see people from Switzerland here. I see people from Austria here. So it's a couple of countries and the US with all its states, you know. So yeah, I think it's a huge chance getting connected. Drop us a line. I will put in the chat our website, which you can look at. And another thing, we were making a lot of effort in the past year for making Instagram channels and so on. And we should start to follow each other. We should start liking each other, you know, even if we do not 100% agree, but we should make traffic for raising awareness and for getting people involved and for seeing that we are active.
Hey,
Okay, that's what I wanted to say.
Hey, Gerald, I think that we are all 100% in agreement with you that we need to find a cure. There's not
Yeah,
one
100%.
person,
Yeah.
there's not one person on this call today or one person in my life that I talk with, work with, and shout
And
out
this is something this is something I didn't even question. What I wanted to motivate people here for joining us, for making the traffic, you know,
Yes,
for getting aware about homepages, for getting linked, for exchanging information. That's my bottom line message.
that is a
here.
perfect segue. And hang on, Mike and Beatty, I'm going to get to you guys in just a second, but a perfect segue is that if you'll go to the Spastic Paraplegia website, and down at the bottom of every page, there are all of our social media platforms that we're a part of. And so join us, and we will for sure come back and join you, and we will find ways that we can share content and share information. And I'd like for us to exchange emails, and I would like to talk with you in greater detail about how we may be able to put together a coalition working with our international families.
Yeah, that would be super amazing. That would be super amazing.
Yeah, that would be great. So thank you so much, Gerald, for your comments. I appreciate that. Mike?
Yeah, thank you for making this happen here.
I just wanted to support Craig in his the amount of work that Lori's done is quite good and generous. But you've also got to remember that each country in Europe has its own language. So whilst we're all speaking English tonight, we might be speaking German, Italian, French, English, etc., etc. And so if we can do it, I don't quite see why America can't do it, because they all speak notionally English.
That's very true. That's a very good point. Our website, however, is translatable. So you would be able to go to our website, pick your language, and it will just morph. I mean, you know, amazing technology, right? But it will morph into whatever language that you want to speak or you want to read.
On the website, it's in the bottom left-hand corner, and there's 2-3 dozen different languages you can pick from.
Yes. So check that out.
And on our Euro HSP website, some of the information is really in Danish, is in Dutch, is in German, is in France, is in Italian, is in Spanish. So we are taking care about that.
That is wonderful. And I want to give a shout out to even Selena. We had someone that, you know, spoke another language on a voicemail, and, you know, I couldn't understand that. I have to apologize. I only know English, and sometimes I don't know that very well. But by me being able to reach out to other folks like Selena, who does know, you know, Portuguese, we're able to make those connections. So, you know, we may have people that are speaking whatever language that we have in the world, and we want to be able to, you know, meet their needs. If they've got questions and they've got concerns, we want to be able to try to find them some answers. Selena, did you have a comment?
No.
Thank you for your help. Okay, Beatty.
Close enough. It's Beate.
Beate, I apologize.
No, it's fine. So yeah, thanks for this. It, you know, brings a lot of great ideas. I belong to a congregation. The church itself has 3 different denominations in it, and they are just phenomenal organizers. I don't know if you know what Out of the Cold is. In the winter, they house and feed over 140 people every week.
Beate, where are you? Actually, where are you located?
I'm in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
Happen to be German born, but anyway. Hi, Linda. So yeah, just because I've seen what they do, because I'm relatively new to this congregation, but I'm just amazed at what they do. And so now that they see me, you know, some of them are weary to ask what I'm dealing with. But, and then also they've told me they've gone on to Google for HSP and it's come up highly sensitive people. So now
Yeah.
they're looking at me going, oh, now maybe I can't talk to her. So, you know, depending on, originally I did some campaigning for ALS when they didn't know what I had. And it was just amazing in 2015, 2010, the people who didn't even know at that time what ALS was. Never mind that there isn't one person that I've ever talked to that knows what HSP is. So the fact that you got this potato pants, it definitely, it's probably because it's funny too. Is so much more relatable. So yeah.
That is
So
a very
what I
good
wanna
point.
know is if I want to put this in some of the other organizers' ears, because again, physically, I can only do so much. Where should I contact SPF in the States, or you, Lori, or?
I'm actually I'm going to put my email address into the chat box. And yeah, it would be fantastic for a group of us to get together, and maybe I can support you. And also what I didn't bring up is that we've developed a toolkit. It's not completely finished, but it's almost finished, and it will give ideas for ways in which you can put on an event yourself.
Excellent. Okay,
But
thank you
yes,
very much,
actually,
Lori.
I'll do that right now. I'll put that in the chat.
Thank
Okay,
you very
Lori.
much. Thank you so very much. That is, so you made some very good points in all of that. I'd like to address a couple of those. I recognized when we started, working on our social media platforms that, HSP does stand for other, problems and diseases. We get that. So what we try to do is to help really hone in on the hashtag world. And if you'll just go to your Google and you'll type in hashtag HSP and ANDPLS, then that gets you all the platforms and all the information that we work with, because we have both HSP and PLS. I mean, they're all variants and in some way, connected motor neuron diseases. So we have when we hashtag or when we put a post out, then we put that usually first, the hashtag HSP and ANDPLS. And then beside that and beyond that, then we also add in the HSP hashtag and then the HSTPLS separately. And then we add cure HSPPLS. So, all of those things is what drives people to find other ones that have that similar, hereditary spastic paraplegia. So as we're trying to do our posts on Instagram and on Twitter and wherever else, LinkedIn, those are the kind of things that we recognize. So thank you so very much, Beata, for recognizing that and seeing that. And then Lori, as a follow-up for the toolkit, we have been working with Lori and our team at the foundation to put the information on our website that will even provide you details down to perhaps even a shopping list. So, it's a toolkit, like a guidebook, like something that gives you just the very beginnings of what needs to take place. You can be as creative as you need to be and as you want to be with your family and friends or schools or Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or any other kinds of, activities. One of the things that we had also talked about is maybe even like going to your workout gym or your physical therapists. They have those ankle weights, and they might also be interested in wanting to kind of host one of those for us so that they already are using some of those devices just by strapping on ankle weights and, kind of working out as a challenge. So those are things that you guys can be looking forward to on our website. And as that gets finished, we can for sure send out e-blasts. The only way you're going to get our e-blast is to join the foundation as a member, putting in your contact information and then letting us know if you got HSP or PLS. And then I think all that information is over in the chat box. You guys can look and see that. So Annie, you've got a comment or a question? Please go ahead.
Hey, Annie. Oh my gosh.
I'm a student. I was a student of Lori's. I want to say it was so great hearing you, and I think it's so cool that you organized all this.
Cool.
I was just thinking because we were talking about some ideas, and I don't know how relatable this might be, but I don't know if any of you know of Claire Wineland. She was a girl with cystic fibrosis, and she would post these YouTube vlogs of herself with her condition in a hospital and her, regular day life, and that reached a lot of people. And I think cystic fibrosis, this specific condition, got a lot of exposure purely through her sharing her vlogs and her daily life. And I'm not asking anyone to become a YouTuber here, but that being said, I think it's a great way to just make it more relatable and make people understand these conditions more, because with vlogs, you kind of really get to share this aspect that, you might not be able to share in, these events where you just organize something fun and cute. It shows the heavier sides, and, I think it's a great way to expose different conditions. So just an idea in case
I'm so happy that you're here. Oh my gosh.
Thank
It's a
you,
great,
Annie.
great
to be
idea.
Thank you so much for your thoughts about that. I really do appreciate that.
No
That
worries.
really means a lot to us. One of the things that I want to share with you is that in our marketing committee, we have created some committees within the foundation for people that have interest in any kind of area, whether it's, fundraising, advocacy, marketing, they're education ambassadors. We are trying to utilize all of your talents, all of the things that you like about living and the things that you've done in your living. Maybe it's been in your career, maybe it's just been in your fun time. But if you've got an interest in these kinds of subject areas, then we want you to know that we want you to be a part of our SPF team, our spastic paraplegia team. We want you to be a part of those, even to the degree that in our marketing committee, we are creating a podcast opportunity so that there can be more of those videos that we can share on our YouTube channel, things that we can use to promote what's going on. So we have a couple of folks that are heading that up. And so pretty soon we're going to be sharing some of those. And if you guys are interested in wanting to do a podcast, you can certainly do that on your own with your own technology and then send it to us and we'll pop it up, on our YouTube channels. But if you would like to be a part of our podcasts, then, send us an email and we'll start putting some things on the calendar so that we can get you together with our podcast team and they will put that together and it will be edited and it will be something that will, show who you are and maybe even your life experiences, having dealt with this. What's your story, right? And that would be something that you guys can share out. So there's a couple of more things that I wanted to tell you about while I've got you here. If you'll keep an eye over on your chat for those that can see that. There's lots of information on there. I think Dina has already popped on there the link for you guys to find the potato pants that is on our website. And again, at the bottom of every page on our website, it shows you all the social media platforms that we are a part of. So reach out to us, tap us with any kind of a connection, show, however you want to tag us, that's fine. We're happy to do that. Do all of those hashtags. We'll find all that information and then we'll be sharing that as well. We want to form more of a coalition with our international families and friends and see what we can do to really find a cure. I'd like to point out to you at the very bottom of your chat box, there's these 3 little dots. If you will go over to the 3 little dots, there will be a pop-up box and it will tell you to save the chat. If you'll just click that save the chat, then you'll see show in the folder that's on your computer. And it will then help you to have all that information that's the content of what's being shared there on the chat box. But I wanted you, while I had your attention, Mike, I'll come back to you in just a second. I see you. But I wanted to tell you guys about some other SPF talks that we are just about to launch and that we're going to have these coming up on the calendar. So
Norma, can I interrupt you for just a moment? Are you speaking on behalf of the Spastic Paraplegia Foundation?
Yes, sir. I don't know who's that talking.
Bob Guts.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
doing okay. I mean, to me, this is all the things you're talking about are so new, right? Like it would seem to me that I've known about the foundation since it started back in, what was that, 2004, something like that. And all it's been about is raising money, raising money, raising money, and raising money. Nobody talked about anything else. And now you're talking about something else. So I'm very pleased. And I think I'll go back to you know, go back to the foundation website and look for these things that you're talking about.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad to hear you say that, Bob. This is wonderful because since 2017, I think it is, when I took over to host the conference, we have implemented all of these committees. I became the executive director, non-paid volunteer time. I work probably, 80 hours a week on putting together content and information and talks and meeting with all of our committees, and then putting together an annual conference that this year is going to be held in Tampa. So I would really love the opportunity to talk with you in greater detail about the various things that we've got going on with the foundation. But it would be easily explainable if you will go to our website and then make sure that you're a member, because you will then get the e-blasts. We send out emails so that you can see that there are things going on. And of course, the most that we're doing, the most primary important focus that our foundation has is to find a cure. And the only way for us to find a cure is basically pay to play. We have got to raise the money to hire these researchers, these doctors, these investigators to study this disease, HSP and PLS. So I look at both of those, right? So what we have to do is to, make awards to these universities that pay these scientists to study a proposal that they have brought to us. So that's the primary focus of the foundation. But what we've all begun to realize is exactly what you said, is we have got to find a way that we can be a support, that we can be educational, that we can help meet people at the point of whatever it is that they may be asking for. You cannot imagine the number of phone calls that I take a week, the number of emails that I, talk to from people just like yourself that need some kind of information. So we have got this entire team of people that we refer to as ambassadors that are all across America and all these other countries across the world that have become members of our foundation. I mean, it's free to be a member. It's just a matter of having skin in the game with either the money that you can donate through the resources that you might be able to, do a golf tournament, do a 5K, do a potato pants event, or coming to the table to help folks understand that it's about awareness. And that's what we're trying to do, is to draw the awareness in so that we can help folks to know what's going on with HSP and PLS and our bodies. So thank you so much. Thank you, Bob, for checking, for making those comments. That's really good. Mike, you got another comment or a question? Go ahead, sir.
It's a comment really about research. There's so much research going on, but we don't know which research is better than others, and we don't know whether some research is going down blind alleys or whatever. We do know that in Rome, Italy, there was a recent HSP cure proposed, and at the moment it's being trialed on mice before it's trialed on humans. But that's not hit the worldwide headlines. Now, the problem really is there's nowhere where individuals can find out which research they want to be part of. Because I've asked the question in England, and they say talk to your local people, but our local people might be in America, they might be in Ireland, they might be in France. We don't know. How do we find out?
And I think, Mike, that's one of the things that, you that run these other organizations in your countries, I think we need to find a way to create a coalition, a collaborative, and an initiative that we can all begin to build together, this network that says what's going on. Now, if you'll go to our website, and I sound like a broken record, we have an entire section that's called research. And
Right.
we've got all of these scientists that we have provided grants to. We've awarded grants that are working on all of that information. Some of that information is published, some of it's old, some of it's still new, it hasn't been published. And those are the things that we're trying to get from our researchers and our scientists to give us this information so that we can figure out where's the gap, what's going on, why can't we figure out some of these things? So I think that's a very good point, and I'd like for us to continue our conversation, well beyond today. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, anybody
For
else?
organizing this.
Thank you, Gerald. I see that. I appreciate that.
Yep. I want to reply to Mike's point, which is a very, very important point. If we are talking about HSP, and you also mentioned always BLS too, if we talk about HSP, we must be crystal clear that this is not a single disease. It is a group of diseases, and we know more than 80 different genes which are involved. And these 80 genes, they apply only to about 60-70% of affected individuals. So it's very complex, So when you raise the question, what is the right project? For being crystal clear, there will not be the one project which is right for all of us. What we are trying to do at EuroHSP is to organize our focus in research such that the majority of affected people might benefit for what we are doing. And this is one of the points why we started to focus on SPG4, because it's more than 1/3 of affected individuals which are affected by SPG4. And that's by way the largest group. So this is what we are doing. And for being crystal clear, both kids are affected by SPG11. But despite that, for finally moving the community in one direction, we agreed on doing so, focusing on SPG4. The history behind this was that we made an international research award, which was won by the group in Rome. And my knowledge about this project and my insight about this project, what they are doing in this lab is really outstanding. The largest challenge is getting it to industry. They cannot cure. It's a cell biology lab. You cannot treat humans in a cell biology lab. You have to get industry involved. And for me, that's the hugest challenge we are facing when taking the steps from basic research towards cure, which is absolutely super important.
Thank you, Gerald. I really appreciate that. And again, I think this is a conversation that I would really love to have with you guys, beyond today. And I know that there are a number of people like in our advocacy committee that is working on how do we make those connections with those other industries, because we recognize that there's a gap there as well. And we know that here just in the last week, that Dr. Fakari has tweeted out, or maybe I should say LinkedIn, he linked in a comment about what's happening with SPG 49 and 50 and 51 and 52. So, we recognize that when we say HSP, there's 100 HSP different variants. And not only that, but there's some that haven't even yet been identified. I mean, can I get a witness? Right? There's several people, Jackie, several people that we talked to.
It's about 30% of the people not having a genetic diagnosis.
That's right. So, we got to do better than this, right? We got to do better than this. So we've got to find a way that we're all working together and trying to see what's missing. Where's the gap? And how do we try to fill in that, and trying to bring some more accountability to what's happening. Mike, you have another comment?
Is there any comments basically on what Gerald said? But we getting the drug, we find a cure, but then we get the drug that supports the cure, getting it to market. And the problem there is you've got to find that the company you're in bed with has the capacity to want to market in your country or your state or because in Europe, if it's passed by the European Medical Agency, all Europe can use it, but England can't because England's not part of Europe. England's got its own regulatory authority. If it's a pass in Europe, it isn't necessarily pass in America because they've got the Food and Drug Administration, is it, I think, FDA approved medicines. So if a drug company approves it to FDA medicines, it can be marketed in America. But then what about Australia, India, all these other countries? You might find a cure, but you might not be able to get the cure to the people that need it.
Very good point. And, you know, maybe that's one of those things that, you know, we need to be looking at. How do we connect in, you know, the movers and shakers in those other countries that can't seem to get, you know, get it moving, right? Thank you, Linda. I mean, there's a witness there. And I think that's one of those things that we would like for us to continue this conversation. Lori, I didn't mean for us to hijack this from Potato Pants, but this to me is so rewarding to have this conversation. And I want to get you guys together again and let's talk about this. Beatty, do you have another comment or question?
Gerald, you had oh my God, there goes my mind. 35% that are undiagnosed.
That's an approximation, but that's a number you hear, and that varies considerable depending on which center you're looking. But I guess 35% is a fair guess.
Well, some of it also remain. You know, it's going to be hard to address even the medical society because there was a physiatrist I had to use because my other guy retired, and his attitude, even though he deals with a lot of this, his attitude was just terrible. So when I said to him, because at the time I had already been diagnosed, because we talked about some other people, and he just said, well, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it is a duck. And his own you know, curiosity or whatever about naming it meant nothing to him. So that I would think that if I was his patient, you see, I already knew what I knew, so I moved on. But I don't know if everybody who's struggling to find things out also are lucky enough to get to the right doctors. So
well,
you know,
and that's one of the things, if I can add a little comment here, one of the things.
Norma, can I reply to
yes, please go ahead, Gerald.
Yeah, yes. That's one part of the story, finding the right doctor, you know. Lori, I'm not sure if I'm allowed saying this here, but you are still lacking your genetic diagnosis.
You're
despite being really connected with leading doctors on this planet.
Yes.
And for me, it was really an amazing thing. We have this Tom Wallig symposium here in Europe, which is the largest symposium in the world on HSP. And in 2022, they were also talking about this issue. What's about this approximately 35% we do not find out the reason for. And you know, you're sitting in one room with 100 researchers, with 100 top-level researchers. And if you hear the discussion they are doing between them, they have no clue. They don't know the reason for not finding this 35%. And there's I don't get his name. He's working on HSP. He's from Miami. Also, he has a German background, I think.
Zuckner.
And
Stefan Zuckner.
Yeah, that's him, exactly. And he, about 3 or 4 years ago, he published a very interesting paper explaining why he thinks that this 35% are not identified with current techniques.
Okay.
Good to know. I'll look that paper up. Do you have that paper? Do you have a link to that paper?
I have it somewhere on my computer and I can send it to you.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's try to find that, Hank.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it too.
Yeah, send that to us and we'll send that to our board. But one of the things I really appreciate, Beata, that you were bringing up, and Gerald, you were hitting on as well, is that the foundation, the Spastic Paraplegia Foundation, has recognized that we got to step this up. And we've been working now since our conference in Nashville 2 years ago. And then last year in St. Louis, the board of directors is actually put together funding to help create the Spastic Paraplegia Centers of Excellence. And we have isolated that there's about 9 or 10 facilities in America that they are putting something together as basically a prototype of all of the things that, you know, every neurologist should be hitting when a person comes in and looks or, you know, has symptoms as what we've got. And so we're looking at some good opportunities that this is going to be elevated to the National Institute of, you know, Health, where this could be something that would happen across all of America with all of the neurologists. So, you know, we're trying to push this as much as possible. So that's why I think, you know, if we're working with these, you know, already, and Dr. Zuckner is a part of that, and Dr. Fakari is a part of that, Dr. Fink is a part of that. You know, you can see all that information on our website and find those locations. You know, I'd like to see that, you know, even spread beyond, that we would open the door to have the opportunity for international locations to also be a part of our centers of excellence. So with that being said, I'd like to pull this conversation back over and talk just one last few moments about potato pants. And appreciate you, Lori, so much for all the energy and time that you've put into this for over the years. And I feel very encouraged that there is a number of people on screen that seem to be encouraged too, that would like to, you know, see something happen. So perhaps maybe there will be some more conversations that we will have. Maybe if we need to, we can come back together, you know, in another SPF Talks, kind of do a follow-up maybe. Go ahead, Lori.
I just wanted to say that I did put my website, I put my email address into the chat, and I would really love to put together a team like that so that we can sort of take these potato pants ideas forward. We can do something with it, because like I said, it's been marinating for 10 years and it's time to do something for sure.
Well, thank you so much. I know it's been a long road for you to get to this point, and I am just so honored that you have taken time to come be with us today. And all of you, I appreciate all of you. I'd like to give one little last shout out, is that we have got an annual conference that we are planning in June in Tampa, Florida. So if you're able to join us in person, we'll probably have, you know, 10, 14 doctors that will be there. I mean, what better place to, you know, pay, you know, the hotel and the travel, or, you know, the registration fee, and be able to see 14 doctors at the same time. And, or if you can't, then there is a virtual option. And again, you can find all that information on our website. Is there anybody else that has any other comments or questions? I know we've gone over, we try to keep these to an hour-long SPF Talks. The next one will be March the 3rd. That's what we're planning. So you guys will be able to see the registration. We'll do an e-blast out for that. And that one is going to be talking about mental health.
Thank you for organizing it. It's been very interesting. And if we discuss these topics, you find out they cover an awful lot of topics you don't think about.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mike, if you've got a topic and you want to talk about it, we'll be glad to host you, and you can bring in, you know, all your people, and we'll bring in all of our people. I mean, I want you guys to know that you're all my people. You guys are all my family. You know, you're all a part of what we're doing, because you're fighting every day like we are, dealing with HSP and PLS. So I consider all of you guys my family. So I'll give you a big hug. Anybody else have any other comments that you, thank you, baby. I appreciate that.
Just
Anybody else?
briefly, I was putting the link to the paper of Züchner on the chat, so you got it.
Very good. Well, I will save that information. And if we do a blast out, then we'll put this information in the blast and let everybody have that information available as well. And Gerald, if you guys, you and Mike want to get back together and us have a, a deeper conversation about How can we create a coalition? I'm all ears.
Definitely, we should do so.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
So we're done,
Quite
yes?
local.
Can I be included
Thank
in
you
the
so
coalition
much.
stuff?
Yes, yes, we're going to be talking on March the 3rd about mental health. I've
Okay.
got a retired psychiatrist that's going to come on and talk with us. So make sure you're registered so you get the e-blast, and then you'll know how to register for the next talk, because it will always be a new link.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. Reach out to us anytime. I'd be glad to talk with you.
Okay.
All right, you guys take care. Have a great afternoon. And Lori,
Bye.
thank you so very much.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Lori.
All right, see you
Very
guys. I'm
well
making
now.
this up.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.